This person is asking, would you go back to Alaska for another cruise? Not only would we, but we will. There's no doubt in my mind that we will. Our son would love to go see Alaska. If possible, I'd like to get my mother-in-law up there with us. I'd like for her to experience some of this. Quick backstory, if I could, please. My wife's grandfather, my mother-in-law's father, always wanted to go to Alaska, and he was still alive when Renee and I first met, and that was the point in time when he finally pulled the trigger and made the trip to Alaska. This guy took a Chevy S10 pickup truck with a little camper shell, not a camper that sits in the bed, but just a regular shell over the bed. He took an S10 pickup truck with a camper shell on the back and drove it from the Chicago suburbs to Alaska, and spent I don't know how many days up there, sleeping in the camper shell in the bed of the truck, exploring, fishing, checking out the sights. Because he said he wanted to go to Alaska before he died, and by God, he did it. He checked it off his bucket list. And he did that at the age of 70. At least that's how old my wife said, I believe she said he was when he did it. That's insane. That is a guy who knew what he needed to do, wanted to do before he left this earth, and he fucking made sure he did it. The Alaskan cruise was always on our bucket list. This cruise fell into my lap through my travel agent, who got us a tremendous deal. It was an unbelievable price, so I jumped on it. It was a gift to my wife for her 50th birthday. I didn't know what to get my wife for her 50th. So I said, hey, let me see if I can do a cruise for us. And I was originally looking at Caribbean cruises. And then, my travel agent went, hey, I got this one. And I'm like, that's bucket list time. That's really going to make the 50th memorable. We're going to go on, fucking God knows how many Caribbean cruises over the course of our lifetime. We're not going to do too many Alaskan cruises. So, yeah, let's go ahead and make this memorable. It was a tremendous experience. We enjoyed the hell out of it. The sights are every bit what you imagine them to be. Excuse me. But our son, our 13-year-old son, my mother-in-law and our other daughter, other family members stayed here with him. But when he heard we were going to Alaska, he was basically like, the fuck? I want to go to Alaska. I'm like, okay, I'll make sure that we get you to Alaska too. So we are definitely going to go back on another Alaskan cruise. I'd love for my mother-in-law, like I said, to go up there and experience the things her father experienced before he passed away. And I would recommend everybody to go on an Alaskan cruise. It was every bit what you hear people talk about. Grandiose, gorgeous, clean, pristine. Everything that you imagine about an Alaskan cruise, it was. It was, except for the cold. We had unbelievable weather. It was in the mid-60s every day, except for like the last day. It was in the upper 50s when we were by Hubbard Glacier in Disenchantment Bay. With the exception of the weather, it never rained once. With the exception of the weather, it was everything that you imagine it to be. It was gorgeous. It was stunning. We will go back. No question about it. If you're going to do an Alaskan cruise, couple of things. Really do your research on the cruise line, because the port space is limited, and so not everybody has priority. Some cruise ships have to anchor off the coast and tender. You have to tender in, for your excursions and your visits to shore via a boat. Royal Caribbean and Celebrity seem to have, which they're the same company, they seem to have the priority docking because they did most of the infrastructure work up there on the cruise docks, apparently. Norwegian and Viking and other cruise ships, they come in second, third, they get in line. So first thing I would do is do your homework on the cruise line and obviously the cruise ship, and then make a determination as to once you make the determination as to which cruise you want to go, check to see if it's going either from like Seattle or Vancouver north, or from like Anchorage or Seward south, because that's also going to determine where you want to be on the ship, right? As you're going south, most of the land that you're going to see is going to be on the left side of the ship. If you're going north, most of the land you're going to want to see is going to be on the right side of the ship. It's not that you don't see land on the left side, but it's just, if that's what your preference is. We were on the ocean side, and even though we were on the ocean side, we went through some straits and around some islands and things like that, so we had plenty of land to look at. But being on the ocean side, we also got to see orcas and dolphins and things like that on our side of the ship, which was pretty cool. Check out the ports that you're going to go to, and make sure that you book those excursions early. You want to go on a whale watching tour. We did a whale watching tour at a salmon bake in Juneau. Get on those early. And if you're going to take the same type of cruise we did, where it ends in Seward, Alaska, and then you have to travel to Anchorage to fly out, that's a 2.5-hour bus ride or like a 2-hour train ride. See if you can get the train. The bus was amazing. Beautiful sights. You take this coach bus through the mountains. It's stunning. But there's a train ride that goes from Seward to Anchorage with those glass top train cars where it's supposed to be next level. It was booked by the time we jumped on it, but the bus ride was every bit as beautiful. Yes, not only would we go back to Alaska, we are going to go back to Alaska.